Okay, after you've watched the YouTube video series Brushstrokes and taken notes on all the different brushstrokes, I want you to find a landscape of your own, and you're going to paint it in the style of one of the artists in the video. So I have chosen Andre Durand, who is a fauvist. Here is a image of kind of the colors that I'm going to go for in the brushstrokes. So he was a fauvist, so they believed in using pure color. They thought it was really emotional. So there's not really any black, there's not any muted tones. It's all just pure color that might be mixed with white or something lighter, but it's very intense, right? He was a contemporary with Matisse, and you can see that Matisse was sort of like the main fauvist, and they worked together and they created these paintings that are very brightly colored. But you can also see that he uses solid areas of color that's sort of with an outline, and then he also uses these little brush strokes, these little short brush strokes to create texture and areas of color. So I'm gonna do that with my painting. In the last little video, I had you paint ground color. Of course, like Andre Durand, his is like a white ground, but I just wanted to switch it up and I made it a dark ground because this is a night scene that I'm gonna do, and I just wanted it to have that kind of like glowy atmosphere. So I'm gonna use really bright colors on top of here. Hopefully it will work. Wish me luck. I have a feeling that some of these paints are transparent. I'm gonna have to mix them with white to make them really show up. Okay, so and because I'm gonna do it in this fauvist style of Andre Durand, I'm going to change some of the colors. So there's a lot of black in here. Wherever there's black, I'm gonna make it a dark blue. Wherever there is like this kind of neutral color, I'm gonna just make it purple, because to me I see some purple in there. Could also make it pink, that might be sort of fun. So I'm gonna really look and see, like I see like different purples and pink lights in there, and even this ground color, I'm gonna make them like a pastel color probably. Okay, so in some areas I'm gonna paint with a flat color, and some areas I'm gonna do like this textured brush stroke. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole painting for you because I think it's going to take me maybe more than an hour to make this painting, and I don't want the video to be that long. So I'm going to do just a little bit just to get started, and then I'm going to do the rest in class with you on Tuesday. Okay, I'm taking this flat brush just to start with. Well, actually, I'm going to mix up some colors with my palette knife. I like this. I'm going to start sort of in the background. So this blue right here is a very bright blue. I like how kind of electric it is, and it's going to contrast with this dark blue that I'm going to put here. So it's going to be a lighter blue, but it's not light blue, right? It's kind of like a mid-tone blue, and there's even a little bit of purple, looks like, around here. Also, so just so you know, I did paint my whole canvas black, and I also did a very light pencil sketch of where the main shapes are. So the main shapes being like this shape here, this shape, some of these figures in here. Didn't put all the details, I just put the main shapes. Okay, so I'm gonna put this somewhere so that I can see. This whole area in here is going to be this this color here that I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it a flat shape. I'm not going to do a bunch of texture for the background, although I could do that, I guess, if I really wanted. So I'm going to take some of this paint, and I see that sort of, I'm going to mix both colors of blue, both the warm and the cool blue together, because it looks sort of primary. So I like this. This is a really nice shade of blue, and I'm gonna paint it on. I'm also going to then paint a dark outline around it, because that's just sort of the style that Andre Durand did. So once I have this painted on, and as you can see, it does this, probably because I mixed in the white, which is opaque. It's a good color for this. So remember that the acrylic paint does dry fairly quickly. So if you don't want there to be brush strokes, like I don't mind the brush strokes, depending on who your artist is. You may or may not want brush strokes. I'm not going to try to paint in between this tree here. I'm going to paint the whole background. I'm going to paint the tree over it because that just seems to make sense to me. I'm kind of like outlining the shape first, and then I'm going to fill it in. And it looks like I'm probably going to need to make a little bit more paint, which is fine. This, I did draw in part of the tree, like the thicker part of the tree. The outline that I'm going to put on it later is going to go, it's probably going to be the last thing that I do in this situation. So the point of this assignment is a few things. One point is that it's important to practice different styles, you know? Like you're still growing as an artist, you don't know what your style is yet. So it's kind of nice to emulate other people's styles so that you can figure out what your own style is. That's one thing. And it's also, it's so hard for me to think and paint at the same time. Okay, wait, this is the tree. Oh, I see that I didn't include that telephone pole. Oh well. Okay, I need to make more paint. I need to make more of that blue since I'm running out. Mix it up. I really like how this blue looks on the black background personally. I also like, I don't love when I can see the texture of the canvas showing through my paint. So I want to apply the paint thick enough so that it doesn't show that canvas, but then, you know, I want it to, I don't want to waste paint either. Trying to make, especially in the background, I don't want any of the black to show through. So if I see like little pieces of it coming through, I'm gonna wipe it out. I'm gonna have to make this color again. There's a good possibility we're gonna need to get more paint by the end of the semester, and that's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay, take the rest of this white. I think I'm gonna need to add more white here. If it's not the exact same color, it's okay. I think in some ways that might make it nicer. If it doesn't, you know, if I have some various shades of blue in here, you know, because if you look at the reference picture, which is a photograph, it's lighter here, it's more purple over here. It's not perfect, you know, the sky is not perfect, and that's okay. Let's see here, it goes down to about here. Also, the beautiful thing about acrylic paint is that, you know, like, you don't have to worry about messing up. If, like, don't let that be a thing that hinders what you're doing. So for example, actually, and you could say that I did mess up, because this little thing of the stoplight is here, and then there's like a yellow other side of the stoplight or stop sign that's here, and I didn't really see it in my drawing, so I did start to paint over it. But it's okay, because when I go to paint that color on it later, oh, also I guess it was up here as well. When I go to paint it later, it's gonna cover it. In fact, I'm just gonna paint this whole part blue so that it is the same color. Because if I paint this, like if I made it yellow and I paint the yellow on top of the blue, it's gonna look different than if I paint the yellow on top of the black. So I'm just gonna paint it like this. Okay, so I have this almost covered. I could put another layer on just to make sure that it's all covered, but like I said, I don't like it when there's the you see the texture of the canvas necessarily showing through. So I'm gonna try to get that out. I could also go back later and sort of do that as well. Okay, so far that's like a good chunk. You can see that I cropped it. It's actually a little bit more like this. It's cropped like this, and I think this is cropped like this. So I should actually fold my paper so that it looks appropriate to what I'm drawing. So this is sort of like, it's like this. And I have, I guess, these two windows, but not this window. This just sort of, if you only are looking at the part that you're painting or drawing, it just is helpful to understand the placement of things. So this is it looks like it's approximately like, I should have done this when I was drawing it. That's okay. I think it's like this. Although, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna paint this. I really like this thing. I'm gonna leave it in. So I'm gonna make sure to draw and paint that inside. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna wipe off this, clean out my brush a little bit, because I'm gonna move on to another color. I'm gonna move on to one that has the textured brush strokes that, like how Andre Durand used. So the Fauves were influenced by the Impressionists and the Post-Impressionists, and so the Impressionists, they used a lot of like kind of short brush strokes to describe a moment, and the Post-Impressionists were really into color and using color and emotion. So we're gonna do that here. So it looks like there are a bunch of short brush strokes that are probably made with a round, smallish brush like this. So, and there's lots of different colors that describe each color. So I think I can do that with this. Actually, this will look good if I mix up this color that's like a purplish color with some white in it, and I'm gonna make the textured brush strokes going in this diagonal way. It will give the feeling of these bricks, okay? And if you look really close, there's like dark bricks and light bricks and different kinds of bricks. So I'm gonna make a few different values of the purple that will give it a lot of life. If I made it all the same shade of purple, it's not gonna be the same. So I'm gonna mix, oh, I need white. Okay, I'm gonna just put it here because I'm gonna use it immediately. So I'm putting it in the middle I'm gonna make my purple and then add it from here. So what kind of purple do I want? I think I'm gonna take some of the alizarin crimson because I like the way that makes purple. workspace is so small, it's hard for me to like grab the thing. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna mix that with, do I want it to be cooler? Do I want it to be warmer? I think I'm gonna mix it just with a tad of this because it's cooler. Okay, we know that's very strong, so let's see what kind of purple that makes. It's a nice purple. I bet that will make a nice color when it's mixed with white. So, like I said, I'm gonna make a few different values of it. So, almost looks gray, right? So this will be my lighter value of the purple, and then this will probably be a medium value of purple. That white is very potent, so it is a medium value, but I want one that's even a little brighter than that. Okay. Try adding just a tad. So obviously that's more of a reddish purple. I'm gonna add just a tad more blue. Okay, and hopefully this really stands out on the canvas here. So I'm just gonna show you, I'm just gonna start winging it. Well, for one thing, there's like a lighter version around these windows. So I'm just gonna sort of outline these windows with this paint. It's so interesting, like you can see that this has purple in it, but next to the black, it almost just makes it look like white, right? So what's next to it, the colors matter. So this is like thinner. So for example, you know, this same color, well, I could show you in just a second. So next to the black, it looks almost white. However, if I put it next to this blue, it looks different, right? It's color relativity, right? So, oh, excuse me. Okay. All right. Actually, I'm gonna do this too, just for reference. Okay. All right, now that I have that, just to show you, I'm going to make this texture similar to this texture. So think about like the way that the energy is flowing. On this building, the energy is flowing to the vanishing point, right? So I'm gonna make the lines going that way too. So they're just like quick little brush strokes, and there's no like wrong or right way to do this, you know? Nobody's gonna be like, wait, that should be darker there, you know? So and you want enough paint on your brush that you can actually make the mark. And in his paintings, he has like the white canvas showing through. So in my painting, it's gonna have some of the black canvas showing through. And that's okay, like I like that, so. So depending on which artist you've chosen to emulate their brushstrokes, it depends on what style your painting's gonna look like, right? So you get the idea here, right? There's also this like string that goes across. I'll probably do that later. I'm gonna make this like bright red. I'm gonna make these like white circles, and then yeah. So I'll show you a little bit later. Okay, bye.